and also wondering as to how do we try to bring out the great hidden potential within us. We have a long way to go. Number one is to make ourselves good Vaidyas, gradually expand to become great Vaidyas, not just remain as a Vaidya, but become somebody in society, so that tomorrow you have a command over people and matters. And instead of going on complaining that the world is not improving, you will find as you keep on improving, the world around you at least starts becoming more purified. And then you can start attempting to purify long distance friends. Let this not be a pure selfish act of waking up early in the morning and trying to meditate and think of the Lord and spend some time reading at least one shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, listening to the Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, chanting the name of your family deity, meditating on them. But try to influence at least your close friends. Every one of us have at least a few friends. And once you start trying this on them, you will start realizing whether they are really good friends or bad friends. If they are not one who's prepared to accompany you, the reason to have them travel with you is you need to have satsang with sattvic group. One of the processes they say, drop the wrong people around you. They are a bad influence over us. And all of us have plenty of people around us who are there to guide us and misguide us, and we fall in their trap. So some of the lines which I jotted down for the day, which are all, as I mentioned to you, thoughts of great masters. I want those great masters also to bless you and guide you and bring them into your focus, so that someday during a meditation you get inspired. And whenever you get inspired, you could feel that some great master was focusing on you. Daily, at least 3 times, even for a few seconds. Concentrate, meditate, try to do some japam, and re-energize yourself, so that, as we discussed yesterday, the full potential of 100 years of life would be full of contributions. Olden days, friends keep saying teaching and healing are not professions. Today they say, what's your profession? I am a physician. It is not a profession, it is a seva, where you're enlightening somebody with the knowledge that you gained from your ancestors and your own knowledge. More, I would say, from the samskar part than the bookish knowledge that you gain. That's more for your profession and livelihood. But here it should be something more of man-making. Swami Chinmayanji used to say, all of us are animal men. Then we improve ourselves into man, and through invoking the divine hidden powers within us, become God men. So we need to reach that godly avastha. You really need to elevate yourself to that higher consciousness, which is what is expected of Vaidyas. The vast knowledge of Ayurveda, lying scattered as an ocean, cannot be mastered by anybody, but can be grasped by focusing on those texts. And what you need for the day, for the moment, for the patient who's sitting in front of you, it shall come to you more as an intuition than using a rational brain. And if you can invoke that intuitive power, Comparing your own self, you'll find as a young Vaidya when you started, with the little knowledge that we gained, with the little practical experience that we got exposed to, the prescriptions that we give are well appreciated, accepted, but sometimes doesn't work. And you wonder why. I always keep saying it's not the medicine, but the person behind the medicine who's more important and equally important that the patient needs to get healed. There is to be a heart-to-heart connection which is missing today. Reason is you have too many patients, you have too many complicated otherworldly issues. We've been blessed with plenty of cell phones, 2, 3, 4 phones. And by the time you get into all that, you lost your connection with the patient. Maybe your prescription is right. Maybe you diagnose the case properly, but that alone is not enough. The spiritual power within you has to come up. And as I mentioned, it was never a profession. It was a German poet who has written a verse which says, "Sweet is sleep, death is better, but it's better never to have been born at all." This is a message for your sleepy friends, to tell them it's beautiful to sleep. Death is still better, but best would have been not to be born. Remind them, as you got reminded, that you have been born for a purpose. And you need to find the purpose for which you came. And that purpose of yours has to come from within, not guided by somebody from outer world who says, do this, because they try to influence you, including your parents. But there's an inner call. And many times that's not here because you are muted. Unmute yourself. During meditation, try to concentrate and see if you could hear the inner voice. Great Vaidyas like P.S. Warrior, Pandit Shiva Sharma, Trigunaji, my father, these are all noble characters who stood for so many values and were in society respected highly, no, not for their medical acumen alone, but somebody who was looked upon to be guided for any social problems, any social national development issues. They were consulted. And this is what you should become. You need to become a local guide. You need to take charge of the society. You can't be an onlooker and keep complaining and saying everything is going wrong. Nothing can go wrong even if you desire that things have to go better. And you just do sankalpa for a second, like yesterday mentioned you, your power of intention. Instead of succumbing to society, come out of it and stand apart and say, no, this cannot happen. And you will see how slowly things are improving, at least around you. We are too small a fry to think of converting the whole world into a sattvic place. But you can certainly start with your own small family, try to guide the youngsters, try to help the elders, and try to become the master of the house, whatever be the age. So what made them so? What made them great noble people? If you are well established in one, which means the Bhagavad Gita talks about action or meditation. Arjuna asking the Lord, is meditation more important or is action more important? The Lord says both are equally important. So if you are into even one of them, I am somebody who expects all of us to be into the both. Meditation is to charge yourself and to get your daily guidance as to where do I need to travel towards the end of the evening, which is ultimately towards your destination of the goal which you fix up in your life. And during the day, act as many sattvic karmas that you can do. You reap the fruit of both. That either teaching of the Gita, so that here is a path which, if only you can understand, both in its theory and in its technique, can immediately set the nation on the road of adventure in man making and nation building. So once you can start that action, as advised and guided by the Bhagavad Gita, there are certain rules for the game of action. You start finding you yourself becoming a better human being. They say education is the art of man making. Swami Vivekananda has spoken about man making. All the great masters have said we need to improvise. We say human being, which means we are not being completed full. We are still in the being. But we just can't exist without our own effort. And the more you put the effort, you see things become more and more comfortable. And you should reach a stage of effortless effort. You just don't put extra effort. In the beginning, waking up was a great effort. And then you kept on postponing, not today, tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow. And then finally you started realizing, oh, somewhere I need to start. And then fortunately, you could start. Meditation you find is so distracting. And many students come and tell me, 1 week I've done it, but I don't find any change in me. Masters say maybe a whole lifetime you should meditate. Maybe in the next birth alone, you get the fruit of the meditation. So once you start doing that, you get the inner man-making art. And that takes you into the adventure, this adventure. Like for my father, and by God's grace for me, life has been a beautiful adventure. The Lord tries to push you down the mountain, and then midway you get hold of some dry stick or dry tree. And holding on to it, you don't know whether to leave it or whether it will break. But far away you could see down below the earth, on the earth, lions standing to bite you. On the other side, from the treetop, you find there's a beehive which is dropping honey. So one side, you want to make your life sweet and nice. On the other side, you're scared of having the great fall. Doesn't matter. Pursue that. I told you, more obstacles, the more blessed you are. The more you are being taken care of by the Lord. And once that adventure, role of adventure starts in man making and nation building. So as you contribute towards society, you are a part and parcel of nation making. Not only nation making, maybe global making. Today, with the great demand that we have for Ayurveda from world over, you get an opportunity to contribute more, which means you need to sacrifice more of your time, sacrifice more of your personal activities, may not be able to join the family on a picnic, may not be able to join the family for a meal in the hotel, or going for a film, or going around the mall. But you have a dharma which calls you. Maybe the time across the globe, on the other end of the world, is something different. You need to wake up in the middle of the night and guide, especially now you find more and more people losing faith in other systems, more and more people becoming more wanting Ayurveda more for themselves. So it's not a question of just discussing the case history and guiding them, but it's more of trying to educate them, enlighten them how to prevent, how to improve your health, how to live and how not to live. So nation building, out of which will come every other type of human excellence. And then you find your excellence of the human excellence which is lying hidden within you. The potential starts opening up. After a chat or a talk, there's a sense of satisfaction, a contentment that yes, I did well. And especially after that, when the patient or your customer or your friend messages you how wonderful it was talking to you. Mind you, don't fall for the trap of when they address and say, it was wonderful talking to you and spending time with you. So the Lord was speaking to you. Before you start the talk, think of the Lord for a second. There are beautiful mantras available where even without planning, the best and sweetest of words can come. Try to take a new text called Saundarya Lahari. 100 beautiful stotras, mantras, shlokas, whatever you can call, written by, composed by none else than Adi Shankaracharya. Each of those 100 shlokas are mantras. Each of those mantras, if chanted minimum number of times, and if you can get the next act of having yantras made, concentrate on that and chant minimum number. There were times when I used to go through terrible turbulence in life, wondering where do I look for guidance? Human guidance had its own selfish interest. Each one tried to pull you down and say best is to just shut up and keep quiet, which is not what we asked them for their opinion. But at the juncture, which direction should I take? Where should I proceed? Whom should I look for more guidance? And at that time, found many of these mantras. And it was a challenge. Some of them say daily chant 1,000 times. I used to get onto my stationary bike, have a mala in my hand. I tried going around taking a long walk, but then everybody wants to know what is that mala that you have in your hand? What is the mantra? Distraction after distraction. They don't even allow you to complete your round of walk. They don't allow you to complete your mala. But as you started chanting, you found a stage comes where it's called Ajapa Japam. I'm talking to you now. I'm concentrating more on my words with you. But within me, there is mantra chanting going on. It's called Ajapa Japam. And as you do that and progress, you find not only your physical health, but your inner health, the inner potential coming out with wonderful thoughts and ideas, new people coming into your life seeking new directions, people who really matter, and you feel having spoken to one of them is equal to having spoken to thousands of them. So that way, the human excellence in you starts blossoming. There is the roots and there are the fruits. Let us not mainly search for the fruits, mainly pursue, primarily, let us search out of the root itself. For out of the roots will come all the fruits that there are. So let's not straight away, many people want to know what is it that I'm going to get after meditation. Don't look up into the fruit. There's a long process to go from the root through offering proper water, fertilizer, creating the necessary atmosphere, giving the necessary shade for the plant just to grow leaf after leaf. You need to water them day by day, and gradually it becomes a small tree. There's a beautiful flower coming on it. Don't be in a hurry to pluck the flower. Of course, there is so much of beauty in the flower, but more beauty is on the tree than after you pluck it. Number two, you are feeling alive, and gradually you find the beautiful fruit taking shape. A little more later, you find it falls on its own. and then you enjoy the taste of it. That root of all human greatness, as Vivekananda says, is a tremendous confidence in oneself. That starts giving you confidence. And that's why I keep saying, small children the age of 4 or 5, even at home, try to take a tray, especially at the window sill near the kitchen. Make the child sow the seed and make the child pour a little bit water into it. And the child gets surprised and comes and says, I could see something growing into a green color plant in that. This way, train them. Along with that, say that you also need to become a small, beautiful plant. Teach them, you may be busy cooking, you may be busy getting ready for your clinic, but at least a few words like this, thoughts for seeds for thoughts. Later on the evening, they say, Mama, what did you really mean by saying this? Gradually handhold them. Yesterday, somebody was asking, how do we bring up children? It's not just handing over a child to the ayah or sending to school early in the morning at 6:30, so you get rid of the child earlier, the better. And they say, we send the child early. We tell the bus to pick up first so that she or he goes out of house early and I can do my work with peace. No, the maximum time you need to spend with a child, making sure that you are a living person of those values. You should become a personification of character. Infinite powers are lying within us. For me, are the Atman, face of the divine self. We have already known about we being a part of the Paramatma, and therefore we are called as Jivatma. They are a part and parcel of the whole, and feeling great that I am the Lord and within me is the Lord. That divine self has to start working. Faith in the self is known as Shraddha. Therefore, do it with Shraddha. That faith to be acknowledged few seconds before you finish your path and leave for office. Just doing some prayers. We have Navavida Bhakti in Hinduism. There are 9 ways by which you can demonstrate your bhakti, either by doing simple pujas, or offering an agarbatti, or lighting a lamp, and do that with Shraddha. 1 second you can do it, and you find that has tremendous effect. I remember a Air Force pilot telling me that whenever he's on a call and trying to rush to take a flight to some part of the world, his wife stops him and does an arati and says, have a nice day. You should try to tell her, don't be a block in the morning. Leave me, I'm in rush, I'm already late. She says, doesn't matter. One day he says he had to take a aircraft to the world's highest airport at 26,000 feet high, in the Leh airport. He flies there, but the landing gear, the wheels don't come out. And the only way is to crash the aircraft and take a parachute and jump out of it. He can save himself. But suddenly it struck him, and he put a challenge to himself and said, if my wife's arati being done to me is really true, let the wheels come out. And to his surprise, he finds the landing gear opens up. He says, thereafter, I make sure that I wait for the arati. Similarly, do this on yourself, on your wife or husband, for the child, for the home to remain in good stead by the time you come back from office. Think of having a wonderful day in office. If that Shraddha can be applied, it becomes a reality. And it's called Atma Shraddha, without which Vedanta hails no man. No nation can scale the heights of greatness. Unless we citizens of any nation or of even this globe, if we start doing this, there is no question of any nation reaching to great heights. This is what our own Prime Minister does early in the morning. What all personal kriyas he finishes, completes his meditation, and day by day he starts getting new directions, which is not understood by the world. When he started his global tour, everybody started accusing him he's more fond of traveling around the globe. But those who are exposed to politics and know something about nation building, you know what a wonderful strategy it was, covering nation after nation. And when you need the support of those nations, even the most unfriendly nations, even the nations which were going out of our hands, started becoming supportive and friendly. Education and religion help man to manifest the power sleeping within us. Education should also do the same thing, not pumping knowledge into you, but education should do the man making art within you, and religion as well. Doesn't matter which religion you belong to, all the religions have the same message. The destination is the same, to find peace and happiness. And for that, there are different paths. Doesn't matter which path you take. To manifest the power sleeping within a man, and you find that sleeping powers, you think after each stage, oh yes, I've achieved my best. But you find every day there's something more and more opening up in you. Life itself, it is the Kurukshetra. Bhagavad Gita is nothing but our own mind and heart. Within us, there is so much of clash, so much of confusion. You ask anybody, talk to them and ask them, why do you look so morose this morning? They say, we have a very, very difficult time going. What is it? If you're a true friend, sit with them even though you're in a hurry. Try to find out how do I help you. You have been fortunately blessed by going ahead of that friend in your man-making art. And then try to clarify that what the mind says is not really very important. But what your heart calls, go for that. And to go for a call of the heart, maybe you sacrifice the mind's direction. Maybe people around you say what you should have thought was right, you should have done that and not this. And thereby you start finding more and more people disagreeing with you. And I find the more people disagree with you, I don't believe in democracy. The more the objections come, you can take it for granted. They are wrong and you are right. But for that, you need the Atmadairyam, that confidence that is required. And with that confidence, you start fighting in the battle of your Kurukshetra, your mind and heart, and which we are to manifest these great virtues and grace. Accept life as a challenge. Even yesterday, somebody was saying, too many challenges in life. You saw the message. And that is the time you need to take to move to Godhead and not succumb to it and say, right now I cannot. There are many people who say, let me become old and then I will start thinking of the Lord and understanding more. But that is the time you lose your memory, your grasping power is very limited, your power of perception is almost lost, and you get more and more confused. But right now, fortunately, you are not burdened too much with your family and other problems. You're well taken care of, even if on either your mother or father or somebody. And this is the time, put the effort, accept life as a challenge, and commit it with the battlefield where these were the great virtues and grace of character building. Your efficiency starts becoming more and more sharper, become more and more compassionate. The other one is ignorant. Yesterday, somebody was messaging saying that how do we pardon and accept somebody who's been bad to you? If you're going to be as bad or equally bad or still worse than them, what is the difference between you and you go back to the animal man? You already progress towards man-making process into man-man. So try to analyze, try to remain in their shoe and say, poor soul doesn't have any wisdom, and therefore, because of the worries, try to console them, try to give them some counseling philosophically, and make them understand. I always keep saying in India, or rather in the world, there is no scope for joblessness. And you know what is a job you can take up? Listening to people. And the other day, somebody said, great character that you have is you listen to everybody. Yes. Later on, sometimes you may regret where you say, I'm sorry, I can't meet you right now. And by the time, because of the confused and horrible situation they are passing through, which may mean or may be meaningless, they would have committed suicide. And the whole life to regret, I wish I had met them. So you don't even have to talk. So there are people who talk to you, youngsters, elders, seniors, there's no age difference. After you spend a few minutes, they say, after talking to you, I feel so good. They never even allowed you to open your mouth. You did not even get a chance to convey your thoughts. They just want to pour out. So even by being a good listener, and this listening attitude can come when you meditate and when you start getting wonderful counseling from within, gradually patience come. Otherwise, basically, we are restless creatures. We have no time for neither for us nor for anybody else. But if you ask, what is it that is making you restless? You really don't know what is it. Something has been troubling you. This troubling clarity has to be removed. Make that space available not only for you, you are blessed to have a direct connection, a hotline with the Lord, but make that time space available for someone. To get rid of people, you just have to show your face, an ugly face, twice to them, and they shall not come to you. Many people keep asking me, why does everybody come to you? Why do horrible people come with whom somebody like you should never be associated? I say there's nobody like that. Situations must have made them bad. You getting into their life after realizing what they do is not right, maybe unpatriotic, maybe uncharitable, maybe unkind to whole family. And one of the methods of treatment, I know my father, how when a highly placed police official at a senior age got a stroke and the sons brought him here. He spent some time with them and asked the sons, was there a partition or some discussion, heated discussion at home? They said yes. What did this, any of the sons miss it? They said the youngest one was not given enough because the father was not very happy with his education. He said, go home and send the son and tell him, whatever he needs, I will get it. The son came reluctantly. He was told, try to go and spend some time with your father. Try to talk to him and make him understand that you never meant anything. You are sorry about it. Make him feel that you are concerned about him. And along with, of course, the medicines and with the prayers of the father, he got back to his normal condition. He called the father alone one day without the other sons and told him, why are you denying your younger son what he deserves? After all, he is the only one who came and sat with you when you were sick He never told him. It was under his guidance. Be kind-hearted. That doesn't mean you should give him anything more than the others. Then found the whole family became peaceful. Everybody comes together and thanks. So this takes time. This takes energy. This has to have a compassionate heart, which is a Vaidya's required. And the spirit of dedication flourishes. All these go to make a citizen into a noble individual in society. And this is what has made great Vaidyas noble souls. Look out for such people. Such should be the guru that you look out for. And gradually get trained either into Mantra Shastra or even into your own science of Ayurveda from their experience of not only medical knowledge, but how to behave in society, how to become more loving and caring and compassionate. And all those makes you much better, grateful. With these few thoughts for the day, hope and pray you contemplate sometime during the day. We can spend a few minutes asking questions. I shall share my little experience with all of you. Have a wonderful, great day. Namaste. God bless you. I was understanding that the life of a person should follow these purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, during each phase of life respectively. Not necessary during each phase. You can be as a youngster, anything that you do should be dharma. Moksha can come out of the proper living of dharma. Artha should be earned the right way, like we mentioned yesterday. Kama for the right thing. And the highest kama should be for the Lord who made you, but for which you could not have had any desire for anything worldly. During each phase of life respectively, if you can directly go for artha without practicing dharma first, we become a bad person, like you said yesterday. Exactly. Similarly, others. Then why do you say we should not wait for the old age to seek moksha? Not necessary. Moksha is not something which is in the outer world after death. People say, after death, I'm sure I'll get moksha. Who said so? Long time back, somebody said, I got moksha from Coca-Cola. Your addictions, you're being able to get yourself detached from that. Yourself not getting attached to it, and you get moksha in that. So, moksha should be experienced as a liberated soul, whereby you become a personification of a sample for others to follow. And earlier you get to know these things, you all are fortunate, or rather all of us are fortunate. There are so many who are not even aware of any of these great truths. We live in darkness and we perish as nothing. So all this has to be done earlier, and not necessary that you should wait for old age. But for some people it takes time. For example, I keep feeling bad. Had I been lucky enough, like many of you youngsters, to start on all these things much earlier in life, reading the Granthas and reading the texts. But the foundation was laid by my mother, by my father. Early morning, 3:30, and see my father sitting in front of the altar and reading the Bhagavatam. I used to wonder, why should he be doing this? After that, I see him reading the Sutrasthana and Ashtanga. During holidays, when friends are waiting with the bat ready to go to the field, my mother says, nothing doing. Until 10, you shall listen the Narayana, which neither makes head or tail. But all that is what has helped me in becoming whatever little I am, got later. But today, you have almost all the Upanishads translated to English, or rather to every language. On the YouTube, you can get wonderful speeches by great Mahatmas. And most of them you find a lady called Vishaka Hari, a young lady, gold medal chartered accountant, who opted to become a preacher. There's another youngster from London who's also a chartered accountant. but who gave up that profession to take to spiritual guidance. So these people live a dharmic life through which they earn the right artha, and their karma is to create a better world, and thereby they have already got moksha. How do we do Ajabajabam, Guruji? Keep on chanting, keep on doing japa. While you're sitting in the bus, people say, can we do this at night? Can we do this at daytime? All hours of the day are very good. Keep on repeating it. And once you're convinced to one, you find another mantra comes to you from another guru. As I said, you can't drop one and then take up the other. Continue both. And gradually you find the first mantra takes a back seat. And as you discuss and talk, that japa is going on in every cell of your body. There doesn't have to be an order. I mix up. I got more than 10, 15 beautiful mantras got initiated. Sometime during the day, as many number as possible. And as you work, and I find the more I do these japas, my day becomes more beautiful. So I spend less time, wasting less time on other things. Maybe you're watching a film, so what? You're just entertaining your eyes. Maybe somebody told you it's beautiful, so to learn the moral of the cinema, you do that. But even there, and that's why in many people, many Swamijis, many gurus who find there's a Rudraksha rolled up the sleeves, which is what is called Smarani. Swami Chinmayanji told me this about a Smarani. Roll it down when you're sitting in the side seat and start chanting on that. It may have only 8 beats or 14 beats or some number. Keep on doing it. In the beginning, like a child, you are interested in counting and having a number of japa that you did. Then you lose count of it. Then you lose count of the number of mantras you have. And gradually you could feel the pulsation of the japa. It's just not taking your permission. There is no effort. And that's why I said earlier, you reach a stage of effortless effort of doing your japa. Many of the times I've chosen my mind instead of heart, considering others, thinking what they will think. How to get courage to tell no to these circumstances. To begin with, that is unpleasant. I told you, you need to become indifferent for some time. And there may be talks against you, reduce your ego, doesn't matter. In the initiate stages, unless you show them result of why you were different. At the younger days, my only concentration was Ayurveda. Didn't attend many of my family functions. Many were not very happy that I didn't participate in so many near and dear ones functions. But later on, they realized that all the sacrifice that you did was for a higher cause. Earlier, there used to be an uncle of mine, very close related to my father, who used to sarcastically ask me when I'm roaming around in Delhi streets, why you come to Delhi? I say, carry a few bottles of medicine, come for sale. And I tell the wife and I tell the husband, I come to see Red Fort and Kutubina, which I'm yet to see actually. But when I got the Padma Shri, and when he was celebrating his 80th birthday, he comes all the way to invite and say, I want you to be there. I was late that afternoon. He waits for me. As I get out from the car, he tells me, I now realize why you were visiting Delhi that often those days towards achieving a great cause. So the same people who are not very happy with you for your indifference of that beginning, but try to be kind to make them understand diplomatically. Don't be harsh to them. It's beyond their capacity to understand. Recently, a girl was mentioning how, as a young girl, her father was to be full of appreciation. Now, as she is doing her MPhil or PhD, parents are not understanding because insisting on getting married. So when she said that, I said in Malayalam, there's a saying, public as a donkey. She said, you mean to say my father is a donkey? I said, partly yes. After all, he's an ordinary good soul. He's only a father for you. but no reason why you cannot have more wisdom than him. Try to live the way you want, and that's why I said the other day, be a rebel. Rebel not only in the family and towards friends, sometimes even to go against your head. You need to be a rebel to go with the heart. That's how we can do it. As we have Karma Prakashini, can AVP organize an event to initiate Vaidyas into spiritual practice like Dhanvantari Puja or Homam so that they can perform it themselves? 100% we'll be more than happy to do that. During my Navaratri season, there were a few notorious boys, Vaidyas and me, who during a Tattva Prakashini tried to play fun. Caught them, asked them to get out of the campus, but they turned out to be some of the best boys. They said, during Navaratri, can we come and spend more time with you? And we don't need more than a few of us. And we had given some wonderful name title for that camp. And those 9 days was beautiful. And today, all of them are well-settled Vaidyas. One was a very poor boy whose father was a stone breaker. And that's why he said he was going through those sort of behaviors, transformed himself to a good Vaidya, married, settled, and in touch with all of them. And they say that was the turning point. So certainly we'll be more than happy for you to come, get trained into whatever practices you can. But believe me, the moment you decide towards a journey like this, there'll be as many obstacles as possible. Jump over them, jump the hurdles, and then come to it. And then you find you can turn the tide in your favor and against all of them who stood against you. Feels like mind is running behind many things at a time. How to concentrate on one, we can avoid the changing thoughts. When it's bad, if it's good, confused to select one in what to do in that case. Well, have your priorities listed out. There may be too many things, as I mentioned, make it a habit to list down. Doesn't matter what it is. Be honest. Be truthful. It's not a paper to be shown to somebody else. These are all my desires, and ask yourself, does this help me to become a better human being? Can this help me to become a better person who can be of helpful and supportive to others? Sacrifice the others. And the best thing you find is, all that you sacrificed, you get an opportunity to get it done much later. I find many of my so-called desires, foolish desires of young days are maturing now. Whereas some of the good thoughts of today happens today itself. Because at that time, your mind did not have power. And that's why I said renounce. Masters say, unburden yourself of so many things. Just list out. Very often I have a cleaning process in my room. And I myself find how many boxes of rubbish go out from here. And the more you give, the more you get. I am gifted every day. Everything on my body is gifted by somebody or the other. How many kurtas can you wear? So I tell the boy, let's get rid of many dhotis and kurtas, maybe sometime 24 at a time. The sad part is you gave only 24. And that particular day, there are quite a few who come to invite you for their marriage. And each one brings one or two. And you find what you gave is 24. What you get back is 48. And that's why a stage comes where I keep saying, I'm scared of desiring. Suppose accidentally I desire for an elephant and somebody gives an elephant. Imagine my pathetic condition. So give up. List out what you think, and preferably list out something to do as a first priority where others can benefit through you more than your own personal interest. What are the 9 ways of puja? I shall talk to you about it tomorrow. There are Navavida Bhakti. Beautifully explained. And all of us, knowingly, unknowingly, are following some of them. Doing Pada Sevanam for your Guru is a type of puja. And that's why we say they do Pada Puja, which has of course become very mechanical and very showy these days. You call the whole town and try to tell them you have a wonderful Guru, and you make the Pandits chant all the pujas, not necessary. Even pouring 2 drops of water on his feet and doing a namaste and getting the blessing, offering a flower at his feet. Normal masters don't allow, but when they realize that you are a good soul, really wanting to be blessed, they permit you to do it. Serving society, it's another great puja. And like I said earlier, Bhagavad Gita says action and meditation. Both are required. But are they sattvic acts? Are they for benefiting the world? Don't hesitate. That is also puja. But making you understand what the shloka says will give you more confidence of choosing the right pujas, which will give you definitely beautiful returns. I've started Dhanvantari Mantra Japa. Is there any specific do's and don'ts for the Mantra Japa and the correct method? My humble suggestion is try to get it as a Upadesha. Today, tapes and CDs and whatever you call them are all available. Any mantra, Kanakadara Stotra, this Stotra, that Stotra. Reading it or just mere taping it and listening and learning from the tape doesn't help. There should be somebody who experienced it, has the anubhav of having chanted the mantra. And then you say, where do I go and find a person to get it? Intensify your desire. I need to get this. And somebody will walk into your life and say, would you like to take this from me? That way, when you take it, there is already a great effect by the Guru's mantra japam done. Their transfers, like a father transferring some part of the wealth to the child. The Guru parts certain amount of the punya that he has earned, and they have plenty of it. And they're going on adding more and more japam and adding it. And that's why it's not given in bulk. At one Tattva Prakashni, I remember a student of our own college was fortunate to get a great guru and got initiated into all the beautiful practices. I said, why didn't you initiate 10 students from the crowd? He said, I'm not supposed. I said, it doesn't matter. Forget all the old past methods. Today, more and more are looking, less and less gurus are available. And a girl starts crying so much after receiving it. I thought maybe she was so happy that she got it without asking. And then realized she was so sad that she got a mantra upadesha, which means the devil within you will never allow you to accept it. And this is why calm yourself, meditate yourself, become more sattvic, desire for sattvic desires up, and then you find you get the mantra. How one will experience your karma before death itself. This is true, by the way. I have this doubt since my childhood that some people used to say, based on our deeds, we will go to heaven or hell after your death. Not necessary. You are already in heaven or already in hell. People say, my life is a hell. It's a mental attitude. My mind is in heaven. It's a mental attitude. Not let anything happen. Doesn't matter. Doesn't bother me. Ultimately, you realize everything is for good. Some cleansing is done by the Lord, which may not be to your taste, and you feel, oh my God, what terrible times I'm going through. Not at all. That faith in the Lord, that anything that He does. So don't wait till the end of your life to choose between heaven and hell. Many times we have the wrong interpretations, we have the wrong understanding, superstitious beliefs, like moksha is attained after life. Moksha is to be attained while you're alive, while you're young and energetic, while your brain and your senses are in good condition. That time, getting liberated makes you feel eternally happy. There's no break in your happiness. Things can go wrong, but nothing can go wrong with you. Some people used to say based on it, but some will say you will experience your karma before death. Yes, in Kali Yugam it is instantaneous. You do it today, and that's why you find today how many so-called big people are behind bars. Why? Their own actions of this life. Early days you had Anumanam and Upamanam and all those things, but today everything is demonstrable, scientific era. And so you try something, but we are not conscious and we are not aware, and we say, poor man, I know him so well, such a wonderful soul. There's no reason why he should be suffering. Those who are realized spiritually, you don't have to make fun of them or be sarcastic about them, but fully well you know they had laid their own foundation, they had sowed the seed, and you reap what you sow. So it doesn't matter what they say, but as far as possible, do good karma so that you wipe out even your past karmas. I always keep saying, to know more about karma, read the book called Ashtavakra Gita. There are other Gitas also like Bhagavad Gita. You read Ashtavakra Gita and you realize Ashtavakra is a young boy, a great scholar who mastered all the knowledge while he was in the mother's stomach. And when the father commits a mistake, he corrects him, and that's how he gets cursed. And how karma. So make sure that no karma of yours adds on to more and more karmas. And karma gets added when it is initiated from your own brain. We find many people scheming. Today, when somebody comes smiling and say, just came to say hi to you, never happens. Today, man is so business-like. Nobody comes to say hello. Best is to save time and say, tell me, what exactly can I do for you? No, I came for a small favor. There comes it. But your action should be, somebody did not tell you they have a problem. You heard about it. Call up and tell them, I heard, so can I help you? They'll get a shock. Maybe they're a misunderstanding that you were not very happy with it. That's why my father taught me a great lesson in life. This is such a great blessing which you can't get in Harvard or MBA. People who harmed you in life, lick them and kill them with love. And you find what a wonderful happening happens. That wipes out a ton of your past Nisha karmas. So you will definitely experience it. But let it not be a part of the threat saying you will realize what you're going to go through for the karmas you did. Your good karma might not be understood. Somebody wanted you to do something for them, but you had to do something better for somebody else. And so they get angry and they say, your karma will see to it. It doesn't matter. I have a wonderful relationship with the Lord. He will take up my karmas. Thank you for the wonderful day. I have this doubt since my childhood that some people, it's over. So we see you tomorrow morning. Have a nice day. May you have a beautiful day of beautiful mystical experiences, and try to note it down in your mind. Englishmen and anybody other than India have a habit of saying thank you for everything. We wonder why. Thank you. Thank you. Give a glass of water. Only in India we are great philosophers. We are neither orally say thank you, nor grateful to them for having done anything for you. Change your habits. Good luck. God bless you. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.